What if I told you there's a secret strategy that billionaires use to tackle their most intimidating projects? A method so counterintuitive that most people dismiss it as too simple to work. Today we're diving deep into a productivity hack that could completely transform how you approach your goals. And it all starts with understanding why your brain fights against you when you try to make big changes. Picture this scenario. You wake up Monday morning filled with motivation, you got your workout plan, your healthy meal prep ready, and that important project you've been putting off for weeks. But by Wednesday, you're back to your old patterns, scrolling through social media instead of hitting the gym, featuring takeout instead of eating that meal prep, and that project remains untouched. Sound familiar? Here's the thing that most productivity gurus won't tell you. Your brain isn't broken and you're not lazy. You're actually fighting against millions of years of evolutionary programming that's designed to keep you safe and conserve energy. When you try to make massive changes all at once, your brain perceives this as a threat and activates what neuroscientists call the amygdala hijack. This ancient survival mechanism literally shuts down your ability to think rationally and execute on your plans. But what if there was a way to completely bypass this biological resistance? What if you could trick your brain into embracing change instead of fighting it? That's exactly what we're going to explore today through a deceptively simple but scientifically backed approach that's been hiding in plain sight. The strategy I'm talking about revolves around a fundamental truth about human psychology that most people completely ignore. Your brain doesn't care about your long-term goals, it only cares about what's happening right now, in this moment. And when you understand how to work with this reality instead of against it, everything changes. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates this principle. There's a woman named Sari who struggled with procrastination her entire adult life. She had a master's degree, a successful career, but when it came to personal projects, she would consistently start strong and then completely fall off after a few days. Sound relatable? Sarah tried everything. She bought planners, downloaded apps, even hired a life coach. Nothing stuck. Then she discovered something that changed everything. Instead of trying to write for 2 hours every morning like she had planned, she committed to opening her laptop and writing just one sentence. That's it. One sentence. Her friends thought she was crazy. Her family said she wasn't taking her writing seriously. But something magical happened. On day 1, she wrote her one sentence and closed the laptop. Mission accomplished. Day 2, she wrote one sentence but then felt inspired to write a few more. By day 10, she was naturally writing for 30 minutes without forcing herself. After 3 months, she had completed her first novel draft. The key wasn't willpower or motivation, it was understanding how to work with her brain's natural tendencies. This approach taps into what researchers call the Zeigarnik effect, discovered by psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik in the 1920s. She noticed that waiters had better recall for orders that were in progress compared to completed orders. The human brain has an innate tendency to keep unfinished tasks active in our working memory. When you start something small, your brain wants to complete the pattern. But here's where most people mess this up. They think small actions lead to small results. This is completely backwards. Small actions compound into massive results because they create what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity. Every time you follow through on a small commitment to yourself, you're literally rewiring your brain to see yourself as someone who keeps their word. Think about it this way. Your brain is constantly collecting evidence about who you are. Every action you take is a vote for your identity. When you commit to doing 2 push-ups and you do them, you're voting for being someone who exercises. When you commit to reading 1 page and you do it, you're voting for being someone who learns continuously. These votes accumulate and eventually shift your entire self-concept. The neuroscience behind this is fascinating. When you complete small tasks consistently, you strengthen the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for executive function and self-control. At the same time, you weaken the neural pathways associated with procrastination and avoidance. It's like going to the gym for your willpower muscle. Now let's talk about the practical application of this principle. The key is choosing actions that are so small, they feel almost ridiculous. If your goal is to get in shape, don't commit to an hour at the gym. Commit to putting on your workout clothes. If your goal is to eat healthier, don't commit to a complete diet overhaul. Commit to eating 1 piece of fruit. The magic number seems to be around 2 minutes. Research shows that any habit or task that takes longer than 2 minutes to complete faces exponentially more resistance from your brain. But when something takes less than 2 minutes, your brain categorizes it as easy and automatic. Here's a crucial point that trips up most people. You must resist the urge to do more than your minimum commitment, especially in the first few weeks. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but overachieving in the beginning actually undermines the entire process. When you do more than you committed to, you're teaching your brain that the real expectation is higher than what you said. This creates pressure and resistance. Let me give you some specific examples of how to apply this. If you want to start a meditation practice, don't aim for 20 minutes of meditation. Commit to sitting on your meditation cushion for 1 minute. If you want to learn a language, don't plan to study for an hour. Commit to opening your language app and completing 1 lesson. The environment you create around these small actions is equally important. James Clear talks about this extensively in terms of habit stacking and environmental design. You want to make the desired behavior as easy as possible and the undesired behavior more difficult. If you want to read more, place books everywhere in your house and put your phone in another room. If you want to eat healthier, prep healthy snacks and remove junk food from easy access. One of the most powerful aspects of this approach is how it handles the motivation myth. Most people believe they need to feel motivated before they can take action. This is backwards. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you take a small action, even when you don't feel like it, you generate what psychologists call behavioral momentum. This momentum creates positive emotions which fuel more action. Let's address some common objections to this approach. First, people worry that small actions won't lead to meaningful results. But consider this, if you read just 1 page per day, you'll read approximately 18 books per year. If you do 5 push-ups every day, you'll do over 1,800 push-ups annually. Small actions compound exponentially over time. Second, people think this approach is too slow. But here's the reality check. How's your current approach working? If you've been trying to make big changes and failing repeatedly, you're actually moving backwards. Slow progress is infinitely better than no progress or negative progress. The psychological benefits extend far beyond just accomplishing your specific goals. When you consistently keep small commitments to yourself, you rebuild trust with yourself. Many people don't realize they've lost this fundamental trust through years of setting unrealistic expectations and failing to meet them. Every small win deposits credibility back into your self-trust account. This approach also eliminates the perfectionism trap that keeps so many people stuck. When your standard is impossibly low, there's no such thing as failure. You either meet your minimum commitment or you exceed it. Both outcomes are wins. This removes the all-or-nothing thinking that causes people to quit after 1 missed day. The timing of when you implement these small actions matters enormously. Research suggests that linking new behaviors to existing habits creates the strongest neural pathways. This is called habit stacking. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will write 1 sentence. After I brush my teeth at night, I will do 10 push-ups. The existing habit serves as a natural trigger for the new behavior. Another crucial element is celebration. Your brain releases dopamine when you accomplish goals, but only if you consciously acknowledge the win. After completing your small action, take a moment to feel proud. This isn't silly or self-indulgent. It's neurologically necessary for habit formation. The dopamine hit makes your brain want to repeat the behavior. Let's talk about scaling up. Once you've established consistency with your minimum viable action, you can gradually increase the difficulty. But the key word is gradually. Increase by no more than 10% at a time. If you're doing 1 push-up consistently, move to 2 push-ups, not 10. Your brain needs time to adapt to each new level. The compound effect of this approach extends beyond individual habits into your overall life philosophy. When you prove to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through on small commitments, you naturally start setting slightly bigger goals. Your confidence grows not from positive thinking or affirmations, but from evidence-based self-trust. This method works because it addresses the real reasons people fail to change. It's not about information or motivation, it's about working with your brain's built-in resistance to change instead of fighting against it. When you make change feel inevitable rather than effortful, consistency becomes natural. One final insight that could revolutionize your entire approach to personal development. Stop focusing on outcomes and start focusing on identity. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve, ask, who do I want to become? Then choose small actions that align with that identity. Want to become a writer? Writers write every day, even if it's just 1 sentence. Want to become fit? Fit people move their bodies daily, even if it's just 1 push-up. The beauty of this approach is its universality. Whether you want to improve your health, advance your career, learn new skills, or strengthen relationships, the principle remains the same. Start ridiculously small, be consistent, and let momentum build naturally. Remember, extraordinary results don't require extraordinary actions. They require ordinary actions performed consistently over extraordinary periods of time. The person you'll become through this process of small, consistent actions will be someone capable of achieving goals that feel impossible to you right now. Your journey toward lasting change doesn't start tomorrow with a perfect plan. It starts today with the smallest possible step in the right direction. What's your 2-minute action going to be? If this video helped shift your perspective on how real change happens, subscribe for more evidence-based strategies that actually work. And remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Start small, stay consistent, and watch as those tiny actions compound into the life you've always wanted.